Hi guys, happy Thursday. Few cards fell out today, so uh, I had to take them. Um, I was as shocked as you are probably now looking at this, and I thought, I clear all these decks and I know these aren't in order, so, I just opened up the deck to make sure that I wasn't missing something, and I'm not. However, we have a cluster here of swords and wands. The good news, and I was thrilled to see this at the end, which took away my lack of oxygen for a moment. We have the Ace of Cups at the end, okay? So we're okay. I also noticed that, again, we don't have any coins in here for grounding, right? But that's okay. Again, I don't feel, if I can feel that's going to be a problem, I'll say something, or I'll tell us, I'll try to find a workaround for us so that we need to, we know to be aware of that, right? That we might be caught up in something and we need to kind of ground ourselves a little bit extra, right? But I don't feel that. I think that that train has come through town already. I think today is a day that there's a lot of stark realizations, right? And it doesn't need to be today. There is no way this is just happening. This is a buildup of something, and this is the grand finale, right? This is where it's the light show's coming, okay? What we've come in with, all right, and I decided to go with the spread because so many cards, and I'm not talking I was shuffling and a cluster fell out. They just were, they were sticking together. There's a reason that this flew out like this, or I would have put them all back in the deck and started all over again. Okay. And I did check through the deck, like I said, because this is a strong message here. And this is not one that you want to really bring to someone unless you know, ethically that this is going to help someone in some way. You don't want to be the bearer of bad news unless you absolutely have to. And I don't think this is bad. I think that this is someone really stepping into their power and saying enough. This is just enough. We come in with the energy of the Queen of Wands. Okay, that's very strong energy. She's our hostess with the mostest, right? She's someone that goes out of her way to really help people. She would be, and it doesn't need to be a woman, but she would be the person, that walks her talk. She really would help someone really just to bring out the best qualities in them, to make them feel better and to show them, their worthiness, that they can do this. She would be the perfect mentor for anyone, right? Be it a friend, a family member, anybody. That's the energy of someone that does that. It's also the energy of taking on too much, right? Like being engaged in a lot of stuff during your day, being engaged with a lot of stuff in your life, and just, sometimes it just, you get so engrossed in other people's stuff and helping other people that like I say, we realize that the train has gone off the tracks here, and not only are we off the tracks, we're sitting smack in the middle of the cornfield. We're nowhere near civilization. We're so off the track, right? So this is what this is. This is excess. Okay, these are if you look, we come in with, first of all, the energy of the Nine of Swords. Okay, don't panic. I'm going to show you why, because this is a very empowering spread, and I think that you're going to feel this too. And if you don't, you should, because at the end of this shitstorm, which is exactly what this is, you've got the Ace of Cups. So the piece that was missing here is now restored in your life. So be grateful for that. Okay, so the Nine of Swords we come in with as the overall focal. Okay, we've got the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. Okay, we've got the Six of Swords in your blind spot. In your blessing spot, we've got the Five of Swords, and in our outcome, we've got the Ace of Cups. Okay, what's happening here is we've given our power away, clearly. to such a degree though that this is one of those scenarios where, you know, you've got to hit rock bottom to be able to bounce back up. And I think that that's what's happened, because it really, and I hate to say this because of course it can always be worse than it is, but this is just being depleted on many fronts. Okay. Um, so I think what happened here is you uh, may have gotten mixed up in other people's stuff, taken on responsibilities that weren't yours. This can fall under any umbrella. This can be in the work arena. This can be on the home front. This could be in a relationship. This could be in anything. But whatever it is, it's gone on for a bit, because we've got the 8s and the 9s here, and the 5 over there. You can kind of relate that to a 9 or a 10, because what's happening there is you're just drawing a line and you're saying enough, which is pretty much what's happening here with the 9 uh, of Swords. Okay, the 9 of Swords energy is that of it is that of you know, the stark realization of something, and those things are not always pleasant, right? This though in here is the stark realization that you're done. It's enough. Okay, that somehow you thought, I think what you're mad at is more yourself, right? I think you have been down this path before and you thought you learned your lesson because the sting was pretty bad before, right? However, you find yourself here again, and it's that just, you've got to be kidding me, right? Like, how did I possibly end up here again, right? Only it's to a greater severity, right? But keep in mind, okay, we're coming into retrograde too. So the energy is here, guys. Okay, it is here, and we're purging. And sometimes we need a little kick in the butt from the universe to purge something that we know we need to. It's got emotional ties, right? It's not that easy. Life is just not that easy, or we would all be where we're supposed to be all the time. But these lessons and these blessings are put in front of us, you know, so that we can really see what we're made of, and see, you know, sometimes it's got to hurt a little bit more than we thought it did, you know, to have some staying power. And that's what the 9 is. The 9 of Swords is the stark realization that, you know what, you played a part in this. You've got to own it. But you know what? You're done. You're done. You release it. You just forgive the situation. You forgive the parties involved. You forgive yourself. And by that, I mean you release it. You release the energy. It doesn't need to be that you forgive the people per se, right? What they did, but you release the energy. You release the situations. At this point, you're cutting your losses. There's nowhere to go from up. But the first step in doing that is realizing, you know, taking your power back, and standing in your place of power and just saying enough, enough. I recognize they played a role in here, but I'm done, right? And that's what happens when, you know, people are giving, and we try to help people, right? But in some regards, some people just keep taking, and we don't realize that, you know, it's basically destroyed our lives, right? To a great degree. But the good news in all of this is that we realize that you can be on either end of this, right? You can be on either end of this coin, and it can apply in many different ways, you know. But we come in here with the 10 of Wands, which is a lot on you, okay? It can also mean, excuse me, loyalty towards something, like you really were trying to make a difference in your workday, in someone's life, in your life, in your marriage, in whatever, right? But there comes a point where, you know, you've taken on responsibilities that, you know, you may have been trying to get someone, you know, help or aid in going somewhere, but somehow the whole thing has been dumped on you, and it's just a lot to carry. So that's the, excuse me, that's just the realization of that. And the good news is that it's a 10. It's the end and the beginning, which is where you drew the line in the sand, okay? Because now we've got the 8, the 8 of Wands, okay? That is, again, in here, I think it's too much on you, okay? This is normally that card with the, all those wands in the air, right? There is divine guidance in this card, okay? Sometimes when, you know, something is trying to change, or there's divine timing in why those are still up in the air, why they're not, you know, landed yet. There's a lesson in here that you were supposed to get, okay? And it'll be a different lesson for everyone. But with that 10 of, I'm sorry, this this Eight of Wands here, it's too much going on, okay, at one time. It's just it's too much. You've got a lot coming at you. Someone's expecting too much of you, clearly, okay? Um, what this card really tells you that it's time, to gather your thoughts here, okay? To pull yourself out of whatever this is, you know, um, set some priorities, set some boundaries, get clear on where you're going here, what your real aspirations in this were and are now, right? Um, because the Nine of Wands here, that's also a card of hardship, change, starting over, okay? It's a card that comes in here though, and I think it's here to tell you because it's in your where you are now, right? These are all energies of where we are now, okay? Um, it's that, yeah, life isn't always easy, right? But we know the choices to make, or we thought we did, right? To make it not hard. But somehow we in trying to do things for other people and help people and all of that, we get overloaded, right? So this is a card that says, you know what, life isn't always easy, but I'm now making choices for myself that don't make it hard. I know the difference between calling it quits and being done. I know when I've not given up, I've given too much, and now I'm done. I'm just done. You know when to hold them and when to fold them with this Nine of Wands, okay? And that's what you're doing here too, okay? Now, we've got the Six of Swords here, okay? That's a card of moving away from this. It's just like I say, it's done. You're moving on to calmer waters. This is normally that card that is the boat with the swords that's crossing the water there, right? It's going on to, you don't know where you're going. You don't know where this is going to lead. Your life is like I say, it's we've got to hit rock bottom sometimes to come back up. So that's where we are. But where we're going to surface, we really don't know, right? But the good news is that we have put an end to it. We've just taken back our power. We're drawing the line. We're not doing this anymore. And the outbound card here, because we do this, we have peace back in our lives. Okay, we have peace in our lives internally and externally. Okay, we can sleep again. We can start something new, because that's what this is, right? It's the end of something to start something new. And you know what? It's in uncharted territories. You don't know how it's going to go. You don't know where it's going to land, but you know that you can course correct as you go. Okay? But this is really just not being submissive any longer. It's not that it's an uneven fair fight here. It's not that you are, doing something from a negative point. It's just, you know what? You're being heard. You're done. You're done giving. You've way past the line of being a contributor here, that you've basically taken on whatever this was that wasn't yours to take on. I think in lieu of trying to help someone, you took on too much, and it cost you dearly, clearly, because there's a lot of, we've got nines, eights, tens, and these two cards clearly are cards of being done. You're moving on from this to restore peace in your life, okay? And that can come in whatever form this applies to you, okay? But the nine is just, it's not an easy, place to be. It's a stark revelation. It hurts, right? It hurts, but it hurts because of how we're replaying it in our head. It's a sword, okay? So it's what we're telling ourselves. The good part of this is that we're telling ourselves it's done, right? You're owning your part in it and you're walking away, and that's fine. And I think that this is very grounded, even though we're not seeing the coin cards in here. This is you taking charge of yourself, and there's nothing more empowering or grounding than that. I feel no malice here. I feel no ill will. I see you taking your power back and being very brave, because I don't think there's a clear course of where you're going. And I think that that's very scary. It's very intimidating, but you're doing it because this is cost you too much. Okay. And that can happen sometimes, we can all be very strong people, but I wanted to see what was under there. I was afraid it was going to be another one of these, but it's not. It's the moon card. Okay. It's our conscience kicking in. It's our intuition and our instincts kicking in, right? And saying enough. And that's what happens here. This card, guys, is not it's not always an intimidating card. See how it serves a purpose here? This is your intuition telling you enough, and you're listening. Okay? It's not always fear, like, people make that card out to be. It's not lunacy. It's listening to yourself. It's the non-negotiable is always your instincts, and that's the first thing to go out the door when we're in a place that we're trying to help someone else and it's uncomfortable and it's costing us and it's this and it's that. Our instincts, obviously, which are our intuition, are the first things that we sell short and we dismiss, when in fact it's there to help us, right? So here we are now. It's all kicked in, right? We're pulling our power back. We're taking a deep breath on this new venture, and we're going forward. And the good news is that at the end of all of this, guys, we've got the Ace of Cups. Okay, that is a divine gift, which shows me that we are guided to here. We are not doing this alone. Okay, so there you have it. I think that this is great. I think that you can absolutely do this in whatever form this is to you. Okay, in this kind of situation, I'm going to advise just be kind to yourself. Okay, and just go at your own pace and know that you did the right thing, because a lot of times when we do this, it's not an easy situation. The guilt kicks in, right? Oh my gosh, am I a bad person that I'm thinking of myself? No, it's not a bad thing that you think of yourself. It's got staying power, so it had to cost you in whatever arena this was. Okay, so the end though is that you can see really in here that this was a lesson, because you've got divine guidance. And at the end, the Ace of Cups is showing you, see, here, it's all restored. We're in a better place now, and we won't repeat this again. So there you have it. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.